see there, I was just working on my physical literacy skills. I'm going to need everyone to grab a badminton racket and a shuttle and practice 3 badminton serves. Then you're going to grab a volleyball and practice 3 underhand volleyball serves. Lastly, you're going to grab a ball and roll it like a bowling ball 3 times. When you're done that, think about how these 3 skills are related to one another and what techniques are used in all 3 of these skills. When we get upstairs, we're going to talk about what physical literacy is, so start thinking about what physical literacy means to you. See you upstairs.
Alright, welcome back. I hope you guys all had a chance to try out the underhand volleyball serve, a badminton serve, and rolling a ball like a bowling ball. So we're going to talk about how those 3 skills we talked about, or how do you try, how they relate to physical literacy, and what physical literacy is. So let's start with the definition of physical literacy. Physical literacy is the ability to move with confidence and competence, okay, in multiple environments. So we talk about phys ed, we want you guys, our multiple environments, our dance environment, okay, our gymnastics environment, as well as our individual pursuits such as track and field events like 100-meter or long jump, those kind of things. Next we'll talk about, our next category is games, right? So that's the traditional volleyball, soccer, and basketball games that we sort of play, right? And lastly, we have alternative environments category, okay? So alternative environments, such as our swimming or our rock climbing, those kind of activities are in this alternative environments category, okay? So that's how we define our multiple environments that we want you guys to be able to move in, okay? There's 5 categories. We don't want you guys to just be good at soccer or basketball, right? We want you to be good at soccer, basketball, volleyball, dance, gymnastics, long jump, javelin, as well as some of the swimming or rock climbing activities, right? So when we talk about developing this confidence and competence, right, we have to start with our basic fundamental movement skills, right? FMS for short, okay? So we talk about our fundamental movement skills. There's 6 fundamental movement skills. We have our running, we have our jumping, we have our ABCs, okay? Our ABCs stand for agility, balance, and coordination skills, okay? We have our throwing, we have catching, and lastly we have striking, okay? So these 6 categories, okay, six components of fundamental movement skills, we need to develop these as a basis for the confidence and competence, right? If you're competent enough to do these and confident enough to do these, then we can start to apply them into different categories of these activities, right? So when I asked you guys to look at what was similar between a volleyball underhand serve and a badminton serve, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys found out that when we serve a volleyball, we start with it in our hand, we develop a backswing with our striking hand, we come forward to striking phase, okay, where we've contacted the ball, and once we've contacted, we want to come through, finish through, right? And that's very similar to the badminton, right? Where we have the shuttle in our hand, we swing back with our racket in our arm, we come through to a contact point and follow through, right? Those 3 phases, different sports, but 3 phases are similar in that underhand striking action of those 3 different games, right? So we're developing that competence and confidence to be able to do those skills in multiple different games and activities, right? So then when we look at bowling, which is now not a striking action, but it's actually a throwing action, right? And in a very different category of game, it's in a more of a target type game, right? We still see those 3 phases. We still bring the ball back to a backswing phase. We come through to now not a contact point, but a release point, and then we still have that follow through, right? So those 3 phases of a backswing, striking or contact point or release point, and a follow through are all 3 similar phases between 3 different games, right? 3 different activities, right? We have a striking and a throwing that are similar in those 3 phases. So this activity was to get you used to thinking that just because I'm good at basketball or I'm good at football doesn't mean that you just have to be good at those things. There's principles that apply from basketball, such as being able to do a layup, right? You have to be able to run and jump off of one foot to be able to do a layup. Well, that's very similar to an individual pursuit, such as long jump or high jump, right? Where you have to gain that momentum, jump off the one foot for height and for distance, right? Or if you're someone that's more of a gymnastics and dance person, where you know you're very good at moving quickly or maintaining balance and understanding those balance things, right? When you look at sports like soccer or volleyball, where you have to be able to move quickly, understanding those small bases of sport for good movement is a strong suit that can help you in those sports. Or balance in alternative environments where you know you're on a rock wall and you're trying to maintain as much upper body strength as possible by using lower body balance to support that upper body and maintain and reduce that fatigue, right? So we wanted to get you thinking about that and how these skills apply to multiple different sports. And while you think you might be good at one, to try to figure out a way that those skills you already possess might be good in other sports as well, okay? So we'll get into doing some more activities where we're testing out what sport skills apply to multiple different sports, okay?